Hey guys, welcome back to another recording. I'm so sorry I've not been as active lately, but I'm planning to be more active hopefully. So anyway, welcome back to part 2, What If Deku Had Haki. So, I realised if Deku's been training for 10 years, he's got to be a little bit more powerful. So, when I say he's weaker than Luffy, no he isn't. So, let me explain what he has. Number 1 is, of course, Armament Haki, but this is full body, so you can keep it full body for about an hour, and then he has to recharge it. Recharging takes about an hour as well. Next is Conqueror's Haki, that just works. Basically, he can wipe out anybody within a certain radius. And the next is, of course, observational. So this one where he can basically tell where people are, and when he Ineos's future sight, so he can tell where people are because he can sense their auras, and future sight means he can kind of like tell before where somebody's gonna try and sneak attack him or hit him from. So anyway, the UA exam happens, and the UA exam, it's happening, yeah. Deku's there, he's strolling along. He trips up, he gets saved by a mysterious girl that isn't very mysterious, but she has floaty powers. This, of course, shocks Deku a bit because it's the first time he's had a quirk activated on him. Because you've got to think he's also pretty he is quirkless, and all he has is a Haki, which isn't his quirk, but it's rare in this universe, so you know. So anyway, Deku nearly falls over, but then he's saved, of course. This then leads him into the UA exam. He's still muttering along and he's still writing down notes about the exam until he's told to shut up by Ida, which Deku politely says, "Oh God, sorry. Yes, I will shut up." So anyway, they jump into the exam. Deku uses he kind of uses his observational haki to make sure that he knows when they're gonna say one, so he can go straight away. That's when he has armament haki to fill his whole body, and he starts running towards the robots. One plan he did have was to knock out all the students, but then he thought to himself, wait a minute, that's not very heroic of me. That won't be very nice to do. So, anyway, what he does is he runs around and he can almost one hit these robots. So, what he does, he walks up to a one pointer and he swings back his fist, jumps up in the air and basically, down cuts the down cuts will go the robot completely, knocking off his head. The reason I did this was because he didn't like and subscribe, so make sure to like and subscribe so you don't join the same fate. But anyway, back onto realistically. The reason I made that punch so, I don't know, effective is because A, he doesn't have armament haki, and B, if you were going to hit somebody with jumping up in the air and swinging down on them with what is like metal, it's metal against metal, just one metal has more force than the other, so I just figured it out that with gravity from the punch and his strength itself, it'll probably lead in the robot being taken out with one punch, so one punch. So that's what I did. Anyway, for the 2 pointers, it took like a couple of hits, but what you would do is basically, due to the increased strength training and the certain training from Rayleaf, he's been punching a lot more quicker and moving a lot more quicker. So, right now he moves at supernatural speeds to people in that universe. A bit like Luffy before he uses any gears. So, he's basically using observational haki to understand where the robots are gonna punch and then countering that, and then sending an range of a bunch of punches in what he sees as the robot's weak points. So the parts where he can see the robot is its weakness to disarm and take out the robot. This is quite effective, racking him into about mid-table of acceptance with an exam, but he doesn't know that yet. But that's when he sees that there's a girl in trouble. So what he does to save the girl is, first of all, he uses his arm haki to cover his legs, even though it was already covering his whole body. And then he uses his arm haki to basically kind of use it as I want to say like a leg reinforcement. So he, due to his increased strength training, like I'm talking about heavy strength training here, like One Piece level strength training, he can jump from he can kind of he's a bit on the strength level of Zoro. So what he does, he uses the feet to basically run up the wall, because due to his feet being so strong due to the armament haki, it means that he can kind of dig his feet into the wall and dig his hands into the wall and kind of crawl up the wall quite quick, a bit like a spider would, but this leaves prints in the wall, because what he's done, he's used he's basically crunched into the wall and used the crunch mark as a kind of climb, like you would for a climbing wall, and he uses that to get on top of the building, where he then has the height advantage over the robot. Uses his observational haki to realize it's now going to punch at the girl. That's how he realized it was going to attack the girl in the first place. So he jumps from the top of the building and basically uppercuts it with a haki, infused hit. This does not do as much damage as he expected, only delaying the robot's hit. So basically this leaves him floating in midair, bouncing off a robot hit. So he hits the ground, and luckily he has fully armoured haki, but then this goes into weakened haki due to him hitting the ground. So some of his haki's used up, so he can no longer have it around all his body and can only have it around his arm, like you can see in the picture in the bottom left. Yeah, bottom left or right, I can't tell. But the one with Luffy and his arm. So anyway, he realizes that he's gonna have to contend the punch of the robot and instead deflect it rather than defeat it. So what he does, he runs there with his increased speed and haki legs, and then turns off the haki legs and puts it into his arm, and then he says, "You will not win," and punches against the robot. In his head, he's thinking, how can this go so far with it just being a UA exam? Well, he didn't know about the doctor on site, so he's kind of out. Well, yeah. Anyway, so that happens, and the robot is then deflected. It's punched against Uraka, which then ends the exam. This, of course, means that everybody gets in, and he's told to meet up with Rayleigh a little after the exam, and that's when Rayleigh then goes, "Great, well done, you did great today." And he was also told to meet up with All Might after the exam. So after he met up with Rayleigh, he met up with All Might. That is when he's offered One for All, but at the minute he refuses it, wanting to see. Well, at the minute he refuses One for All, and says that he wants to get better with focusing on haki, before he takes someone else to train. And that's when All Might says, okay, he just kind of says, okay, well, I'm teaching at UA, so if there's out you need, you can come to me. I'm here to help you. And this is where I'm going to leave this episode, because why not? If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Helps me out a bunch. Goodbye.